You want a nightmare? Well, I've got a whole city of them.
No, I don't. I just have a dumb movie called Nightmare City. Maybe it'll give you a nightmare because of how dumb it is or something, I don't know. Nightmare City is an Italian something movie. Yeah, you'll see. And in that case, it means we're going to get some awesome English dub work. And if that's already not enough to entice you, well, let's take a look at the main character's range. Here he is happy. Here he is confused. Here he is angry. Here he is annoyed. Here he is sad. And here he is overjoyed. Ready for this? We learned from good old BWC News that there's been a nuclear spill.
Expected at any moment, a Professor Otto Hagenbeck, one of the original planners of the nuclear station, will undoubtedly enable us to obtain more precise information.
I want an exhaustive interview, which will reassure our viewers.
Not just the truth.
Forget the philosophy, Miller. Just do what you're told.
If possible, sir. Only if possible.
Did I put the movie on Italian by mistake, or is that supposed to be English they're speaking there? I guess I'll try harder to listen, if possible. Only if possible. So the professor is late, which makes our hero go from bland to blander when a mystery plane starts arriving.
Doesn't have any markings on it.
Well, unidentified aircraft are pretty hard to get away with, so obviously this puts them on full alert. Haha, nah, they just send the 2 runway guys to check on it.
Nobody inside answers.
Well, only then do they decide to send in the police, which obviously needed time to get there because they were maybe 2 minutes away with the reporters. Well, luckily, apparently the military was just sitting around this airport as well.
Hold your fire. There's no life forms.
Look, sir, droid. Look, sir, droid.
It's Professor Hagenbeck.
Wait, what? The guy you were expecting showed up on an unmarked plane? What happened to the plane he was expected on, and how did he end up on an unknown aircraft? Well, he's not going to tell us shit as he just stabs the military guy. Guess no one's seen him pulling that knife. And his team is able to take them all by complete surprise with melee weapons to boot. Guess they should have said, "Give up! You have us surrounded!" So actually, these aren't masks. These people are all mutated. I guess the professor and his team roll in the nuclear waste before coming over to talk about it. Then they decide just killing everyone when they got there would be the funnier idea. So you're probably wondering why the professor wasn't mutated and if he's the leader of these attacks. Well, here's your answer. I don't know, he's not in the movie again. It eventually dawns on a reporter friend that sitting around watching everyone die isn't the safest option, so they take off and we see the pilots aboard the plane are dead. Either they are really good at landing planes in death, or in addition to making you an expert weapon handler, being a zombie in this movie also gives you flying lessons. Then, obviously, the only place to go from here is an aerobics set. This keeps going until you think you've accidentally recorded over part of your DVD when you remember that's not how they work, and the reporter shows up to say he's got to interrupt the live exercise show.
Does the chief know about it? Am I in charge of the broadcast or not?
You can really tell he's someone who just seen a bunch of murders and what big news this is. So he starts the big news flash with telling how the plane landed without authorization. Truly the most interesting part of the story, and he gets cut off before the little zombie death thing.
Is it possible that you're not aware of the trouble that broadcast could have stirred up?
We thought of focusing the military effort on stopping these things, but then we thought, nah, we gotta send our generals to the TV stations to make sure it doesn't make the news. That way it'll never get out. Except for all the dead people and continuing murders. Obviously, both are furious over this situation.
Something very serious has happened at the airport. Nothing is going to leak out. Nothing.
Nobody is allowed to interfere with the freedom of the press.
I see.
I'm suspending you from all duties.
No, you're not. I quit.
I quit too. Nah, I'm back, and I just gotta say that I quit. Now that he's quit, he's gonna tell everyone. Oh wait, no, he's just gonna tell his wife, but he misses her on the way out. Oh well, at least he can warn his mate. Oh wait, no, he doesn't even bother to let her know that getting out of town might be an idea. So we cut to Major touchy-feely with his girlfriend to fill out the boob quota of the movie, but he gets called in due to zombie murder. But before he goes... That is so silly. What?
What's wrong? Don't you like it?
No, on the contrary. But every time I look at it, I get a feeling
of death. Wake up, Major. If not, you're never going to get to work.
Was he falling asleep during that kiss? Okay, I think there's a disagreement on this movie. One guy said, hey, let's make a zombie movie. The other said, I want to make an aerobics tape. Hey, let's combine them. That way we can also show behind the scenes of live aerobics shows as well. Then Mr. Observant here notices one of the girls was sitting there dead beside him the whole time. What? When did that happen? Did no one fucking notice that she wasn't on set? And again, right beside him. Either she got killed while they're sitting there filming, or the body got drug out there and no one's seen it. Oh, and here's how this fucktard reacts to finding a dead body. He gets wide-eyed and looks like he's trying to figure out what it is. And there we go, another death with no one noticing. It's not until a few seconds after one of the things bursts through the set that they start to notice something is up here.
Oh my God!
what the hell's going on down there?
Well, that's still an extreme underreaction. It's probably one of the most emotionally delivered lines in this. Oh, and take a look at this! She's got blood on her before getting the face palm of death! Oh, and then this zombie cuts one of the boobs off this woman. Then, no joke, the reporter man looks at the screen and we see face palm of death girl fine, but getting the face palm of death again! He then throws a TV at some zombies, which blows the fuck up and starts a big fire. I knew there was a reason we stopped using tube TV. Be very careful. Any slight movement might set it off. Okay, now seriously, I don't understand these zombies. Most of the time they attack with weapons, so I can't see how that creates more, but we do see them sucking blood sometimes. Does that make them a zombie? We never really see the direct cause of what turns people or what just kills them. You might think with the radiation just being near them would do it, but no, that doesn't seem to be it either.
Latest reports show the presence of attackers here, here, and here. This enables us to determine a presumed line of march from the airport to the city limits, then quite definitely in a northeastern direction.
It's taken us a long time, but we finally cracked their straight line pattern.
This is the body of one of the attackers. The autopsy categorically excludes an extraterrestrial being.
His first thought was aliens? Well, geez, sir, I can't believe it wasn't aliens. Back to the drawing board.
His molecular structure clearly establishes him as a member of the human race.
Da-da-da-da.
A paradox when you consider what they've been doing.
A paradox? A paradox? Nothing about people attacking each other is a fucking paradox! People attacking each other? Well, that's impossible! Seriously, I want you guys to take that line in its entirety.
The autopsy categorically excludes an extraterrestrial being. His molecular structure clearly establishes him as a member of the human race. A paradox when you consider what they've been doing.
That's right, take it in, take it all in, all the stupid from that line, it is amazing!
I am Colonel Donahue.
Yeah, it's enough out of you.
It's a kind of a Superman.
Yeah, it's enough out of you too, we already had zombie Superman. So they pretty much say these are nuclear-powered zombies and a bullet to the head will stop them, but in addition to rage and super strength, they need to suck blood. But of course the movie will muddle all these points with the zombie things killing but not taking blood, not dying from a headshot, or dying from a non-headshot.
The order to every soldier and police officer is aim for the brain. We must be very specific about that.
And no one after this will particularly do that either, so I guess he wasn't specific enough about it.
We'll follow Emergency Plan H, and we'll keep Plan B in reserve in case the situation gets out of hand.
H? You start with Plan H? So if our 8th plan fails, we'll go to our 2nd, and I really don't want to have to use our number 1 plan. The Major has a great plan, though. He calls his girlfriend to tell her not to open the door and isn't specific why. Brilliant. The zombies have a lot of time on their hands to bother jury-rigging a lawnmower to go by itself. She's not overly impressed, though, and goes back inside for drinks, but then we get an even more shocking reveal. Oh no, her sculpture that even she didn't like has been killed. Because it bleeds, apparently. And if you think that'll make sense later, what the hell movie have you been watching? Then we get some more side characters with General Paradox's daughter and her husband doing nothing, but that zombie sure is watching them. Cool.
I really don't know why I'm married, Jessica Murchison.
It isn't even 3 months, and already you repent.
Repent? And learn sarcasm, lady.
Your father wishes you to join him.
At headquarters? Why?
I have no idea. He tried to phone you, but there wasn't any answer.
Maybe some kind of war broke out.
Yeah, war breaking out would be hilarious. And I love that the soldier wasn't even told what was going on. So the soldier gets killed since he wasn't properly informed. They decide to take off and go on their day trip anyway. Wow, glad this scene was here. Oh yeah, the main character in his quest to find his wife. I almost forgot about it.
Attention all personnel! We interrupt your sweet dreams to bring you the following nightmare.
What the devil's going on today?
We then see that shoot them in the head thing put into action. Oh, right. Oops.
The government insists that we not dramatize the situation or leak any news that might cause public disorder.
I'm sorry, I think even in the 80s the word of the city getting overrun might have gotten out by now. Reporter makes his way through the hospital and hears people stuck in an elevator. He puts his hands on the doors and when that doesn't work, they're on their own. Glad that was there. His wife runs into an old woman staring at her, which makes her freak out. She doesn't even know the zombies yet, so I don't know why she's instant afraid. When the backup arrives, though, it makes a little more sense. So she stands there in fear until she remembers she can run in the wide open direction behind her.
It's me, Anna. Don't be afraid.
Oh my God, it's you!
Take it easy.
Wow, look at how happy he is his wife's okay. It also takes him a little to realize that being slightly down the hall from the zombie pyres isn't the safest. Fear the wrath of Ninja Surgeon! But Ninja Surgeon's team gets taken out by facepalms, and he who lives by the scalpel dies by the scalpel, and the zombie pyres have their blood shakes. Oh, look, the elevator people get let out. I guess they weren't pointless. Oh, right, they just die. The point in them was amazing. Okay, I think you know what I must do here.
Something strange in the neighborhood. There's something weird and it don't look good.
Any news of your family?
No, none. I only hope they're all right.
I'm sorry, Murchison. Really, I am.
Don't worry, because I think you're more upset about his daughter than he is, and he'll never be brought up again with him.
How could a thing like this happen?
It's part of the vital cycle.
The original sin that man is responsible to protect the life cycle.
Anyway, his wife tries to be philosophical, I think, saying it's human nature to destroy, though earlier I thought it was a paradox for humans to do that.
The civil defense authorities have declared a state of emergency.
Jessica, stop that humming, will you? It makes me nervous.
Humming? Could you guys find out what the words mean in English before dubbing them?
I have no intention of giving up my weekend.
They don't really see why a state of emergency should ruin their weekend, so they figure they'll just wait for their friends to show up until they notice a dead body maybe 10 feet from the camper. I see how that wasn't obvious by sight or smell. Oh well, the friends show up.
Hey, what are you doing with that gun?
Hey, what are you doing shooting me with that gun? Hey, what are you doing with that knife? Hey, what are you doing stabbing me with that knife? So there we have the whole story arc of them. Wasn't that useful? I really like the part where they went on a day trip and died. Oh, but the Major's girlfriend is still alive. Kind of surprising. Not as surprising, though, that she's just fixing her head model. You know, the thing that had a bloody knife stuck in it? How'd that get there, and why was there blood? Who fucking cares? So one of her friends show up at the door and tells her how she barricaded her house up, and when she was all safe over there, ran over here, but that reminds her that she left a crawl hole in her cellar open. Obviously, she just barricades the door to go down into the cellar. No, of course she goes down there and closes it up. But then they hear a noise upstairs, so she tells her friend to stay safe in the dark basement alone. Yeah, that turns out as well as you'd think. Back with reporter and wife, they're running out of gas, so they pull into a gas station and immediately gas up. No, of course, he goes in while his wife gasses up. No, wait, of course, she's sitting in the car doing nothing. Oh, and he touches blood on an axe because it might be a good way to get infected. Seriously, why the fuck would you do that? And why the fuck would you sit around having coffee with the car still not gassed up? When he's finally ready to get around to gassing the car up, they of course get attacked, and then the zombies camp out in front of the car, so they blow it up and... Stupid surprise zombie, vampire, whatever they are.
I don't want us to die, but there's nothing we can do. They're all around us, everywhere. They're all around us.
What a passionate kiss there.
Thank the Lord, Father. We were really hoping...
What? He had the deteriorated side facing them! Oh, of course, they don't see things they are looking at until the camera sees it!
Oh, Donahue, I suppose you're here to tell me that your experiment didn't work out, huh?
On the contrary, the gas has proven effective. Our planes can fire it with their missile launchers.
But, Donahue, we have no planes. Not anymore.
Okay, General, if you want to give up, just say so, because we could obviously still use this gas to fight them even without the planes, right?
Nope, not doing that.
The Major stops in his girlfriend's and she got turned off screen. Guess that makes pretty much all her scenes pretty useless too. He shoots her in the head but has to shoot her twice, blowing her head off. Or not. So the Major decides he might as well finally meet up with the main characters and at least have two of the stupid stories in this damn thing connect with each other, and they decide to stop off at the fair, which didn't turn out as fun as they'd hoped.
Oh, you can do it, come on! Don't let go, Anna!
I can't! Hold on!
Yes, you can!
You know, with this movie, I wouldn't be surprised if she actually... Oh, Nightmare City, you are...
What's wrong?
Oh, nothing. I had a horrible dream.
Fucking kidding me! It was all a dream? Oh, Nightmare City, I get it. So, no joke, the beginning of the movie starts playing out exactly the same, with them going to the airport to interview the professor and an unidentified aircraft landing instead. nightmare becomes reality. The nightmare becomes reality anytime you watch Nightmare City. That it was all a dream thing is especially stupid here when there are so many freaking side stories as ridiculous, and all of which had nothing to do with the main character. I'd really love to know how he dreamt of a side character who only related to another side character who he had met once. In the dream! And of course the zombie vampire whatevers make no sense as they act like an organized terrorist group for certain instances, but with no agenda, and they don't talk. They're only as smart as it's convenient for the nonsense plot, which half of which is just padding. Who are you? Darth Vader? What are you doing here? No!
I am not Darth Vader. I am Darth Zombie Vampire something or other.
Okay, but seriously, what are you doing here?
I got an infected shot. All too
No! This can't be! I wasn't supposed to die again! It's not the same as it was before! I don't want to go! Oh, jeez. I slept in for my Nightmare City review. I think I had some kind of a nightmare, but I don't remember any of it, so I've learned nothing.
You want a nightmare? Well, I've got a whole city of them.
No, I don't. I just have a dumb movie called Nightmare City. Maybe it'll give you a nightmare, though, because of how dumb it is or something. I don't know.
Friendly, these monsters seem so fake. My nerves are gonna break. Phelous, don't let me down. You need to be around. Grab that running one up and blast that single new one. This movie looks shitty. Phelous, oh Phelous, bring on mortal comedy, oh Phelous, and some more movies, oh Phelous, oh Phelous. I don't care how nice you sound, oh Phelous, oh Phelous. What's your opinion about?
Nightmare City, I quit.